Before me, I didn't have anybody that went to college, so I didn't know if it was possible. That's why I barely almost graduated high school. But I think me getting through college, they see that the opportunities is possible for them. So my niece is going to go to school. My nephews, I know, are going to go to college as well. So I just hope that they go beyond what I accomplished, so set a family lineage to some degree, so.
Ultimately, what we're trying to do is ensure that students of color who traditionally have persisted or who have been less successful than their white counterparts, our goal is to close that gap somehow. An individual comes to North Hennepin and they may be successful or they may not be successful, but what they remember about North Hennepin is that instructor or being on student senate or some type of event or relationship that they created, and usually that's what keeps them here. The goal of the program is to create that relationship so that students understand that we truly care about them, so that when an obstacle happens or a barrier comes up or even life happens, they can connect with us and we can point them in the right directions and we can point them to the right resources, whether they're on campus or whether they're in the community, so that we can try and help them with those issues or those barriers, and so that potentially leaving school or withdrawing from school isn't an option.
If we have low-income students, are they having to decide between, are they going to eat today or are they going to go to class? Do they work their job or do they go to class and turn in their paper? Between having my lights kept on for my kids while they're sleeping at home, while they're cooking, making food, how do I make sure that my family has what they need, but yet still make sure that I'm taking care of the responsibilities I need to at the school?
There's a certain set of circumstances that seem to occur over and over again for different groups of students. Part of that is food insecurity, hunger issues, home insecurities, or they don't have housing anymore. There are other issues related to they're working too many shifts. They don't have time to sleep, let alone be a student. And those needs driving those are, they need to make money to have housing for their families, to pay for themselves here, or for family members that they're caring for in other places.
I think there's a lot of barriers that students have. Some of them is academic preparedness. At a two-year college, we have to be prepared to serve all of the students that walk in the door. And some of them are coming with a lot of family and social support, a lot of academic preparedness. They're here to save money and then move on. And then some students come without any support systems. They're not sure what to expect when they come to college. They don't have anyone to walk them through financial aid. And so really, we have to be ready to serve kind of the gamut.
Just by virtue of us being a community college and a commuter school, a lot of our students have outside obstacles that they have to also overcome in order to be successful here. We don't give them a set place to live or set meals. So they have to think about things like their living situation or taking care of family. Some of them are taking care of parents or parents themselves, outside jobs that they have off of campus. A lot of different obstacles that they're facing. How do they get to campus? If they're not just walking out of their dorm down the hall to their class, they're actually having to come here in one way or another. And so a lot of those things are barriers, or can be barriers or obstacles, depending on what the students are facing before they ever even get here to North Hennepin.
I have a documented disability, and there's an organization here on campus. It's called the Access Services, and they contribute to students of documented disability, and they help me so much, pertaining to organization. Even for my classes, they have opportunities for somebody to help me take notes, because there's some times I'm like, okay, I get this, but then I'm still missing this, just because my brain just wires a little differently. Mm-hmm. And even in school has helped me just be okay with that, with my shortcomings, the areas that I don't succeed as well in, because in the areas that I don't succeed, I got a brother right here who got me. You know what I mean?
Some of the biggest struggles, I think, was financial, because I think my road to where I'm at now is much different than a lot of people. I didn't go to school right away, and when I was in school, I was working full time. So when I was at North Hennepin, I was working full time. Shortly after starting North Hennepin, I moved out, so I had to find ways to make a living for myself. So my roommate and I were both going to school and working at the same time, and back then I thought it was a struggle, but I think that kind of helped build me for the person I am today. So now when I know, like, when things are getting tough, I already have that built in me to get through it. So even now I'm in my master's program and I'm still working full time, and days are busy, days are tough. How am I going to finish assignments? But I've been doing this for the last 7 years of my life, just being busy to some degree. But ultimately, I don't look at it as being busy. I look at it as an opportunity to become better than I was yesterday.
You know what? I understand that I'm coming here to better myself and the life for my daughter. You want to be a role model and whatnot. But I also have to do something that makes me happy. I'm a very social person, and I'm a very large type of person where I want change. I know that because of the struggles that have happened to my life as growing up as a young child over North Minneapolis, that I don't want that same lifestyle for my daughter.
Going to school and working was fairly hard, but time management, like sitting down with a mentor and just understanding the true meaning to time management of how many time do I want to put into studying when it comes to my school, and compared to my work, trying to maintain my daily life, pay my rent and all of that stuff. So it's just finding out the importance of time management and managing my time right. Although sometimes it was hard just trying to stay on schedule, because college, things come up all the time, assignments, quizzes, exams and stuff, they come up all the time. So it's like sometimes the schedule, my work schedule and my school schedule, though, kind of intersect sometimes at the wrong time, and those can be frustrating. Those can be very stressful times and stuff.
I didn't have the opportunity just to hang out as many students did. I had responsibilities, and I think that forced me to be more responsible to some degree of saying, I know I need to get this done. So I started to plan my days out, and I think that's really helped me today in my line of work. So everything that I've gone through before has helped me in the here and now.
Trying to help them balance work, family, life responsibilities. How do you talk to your family members about being a student and what they're going to need to do to help you be successful? How do you talk to your friends who are very often used to them not being a student? What do they do? What can they do to support you as a college student? And I share with them different strategies about, your friends and family don't need to be college students themselves or college graduates, but there's certain types of behaviors that will lead you to be successful at work, will help you be successful in school.
Some people's parents hasn't went to college, and so I think it's really important to advocate for what you need in order to succeed. So, for instance, if your parents haven't gone to college and you're angry at them, and one of the things to ask is, like, how can you be angry if they haven't benefited from it, if they haven't actually went through it? Sometimes you have to be the best person, and sometimes to be the best person, you have to know that there's so many people who haven't done what you've done, and not to gloat over those things, but just you have to advocate for it. Because if you advocate to your mom or your dad, like, look, you know what, I understand this is not me speaking down to you, but in order to succeed and be the person that I want to, that I am going to be, this is what you have to do to support me.
Every semester that I was here, I had one instructor that I had issues with. And what I learned was that I was meeting the same personality, the same person, I was meeting them, but with a different face. So when I figured that out, it got easier. So I want to say by my third semester, it hit me, because I've left and was crying, left class crying. At the end of the semester, I felt like I wasn't going to finish. And it took people in my support systems to talk to me. I call it talking me off the ledge, because I was at the edge of the ledge getting ready to jump. And they were like, nope,
With me, I think North Hennepin did a really good job, especially because I am a first-generation student. So college was a whole new thing to me and my family. So they made it so I wasn't stupid. They made me feel comfortable, like asking questions and things like that.
Well, like Maria, I'm also a first-generation student, but I'm not the first in my family to go to college. So college wasn't new to my parents. For their children, I think the only challenging thing was that it was kind of hard to get people's mind to wrap around the fact that a 2-year community college is no different from a 4-year university, and I think that that's one of the challenges that a lot of community colleges and students who go there face, is just the fact that they think that we don't take courses as rigorously as a 4-year college, or that we aren't as responsible as students who go to a 4-year college.
You think about it, all your peers are talking about, oh, I'm going to this university and this university, and it does naturally. It affects the mindset, like, oh man, I kind of want to go there too. So you want to weigh out your options, and you think about it financially. And I think what I've learned after all of my mistakes, because even me, I went out there and I created debt for myself when I could have just stayed here and made the most out of my opportunity here. But the biggest thing I learned was that, what am I looking to do? Take ease off of my family, gain financial stability. And that's what North Hennepin provided today.
Because after I joined the Hmong Club, I met a lot of new people, a lot of cool people actually. And, thanks to them, all the group right here, they helped me, get to know people more. Because I guess I was never really a people person, but I learned that after communicating with it's all about connection, If you have the connection, then you're able to meet new people, and that's how you move on with your life. That's how you find out who you are, actually. And they sort of helped me with that. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to make a little club of just basically building up on people's social skills. So then they don't have to experience what I had to experience, where like it wasn't the school, it was just me being a little less open, a little less social. So then if they need more communication skills, I can help them out. So, and also recommend them to any like public speaking courses, because I took a public speaking class and it was one of the best classes I ever took.
When I first got to North Hennepin, I didn't talk to anybody. I think I went two and a half semesters before I even talked to anybody. Ended up leaving due to things that happened before I even got here. So in the time that I took off and came back, as a person I grew, and I understood that, okay, I can't go into North Hennepin thinking that I'm gonna do everything by myself. Mm-hmm. And so I remember the first week I was here, I ran into a friend of mine I went to high school with. And he's like, yeah, come on out to the diversity office. That's where I'll be at, getting some work done and doing things of that nature. And for me, I was always skeptical. I for the longest, I would always tell people, I've met everybody I needed to meet in my life already. And so getting into the diversity office, it was a real awakening. For the first time, I was around people who actually wanted to have the conversations that I wanted to have, who were actually shared the same type of interest, or who actually had a eagerness to learn about who they are as a person and their culture as a background as a whole. Like I said, the most amazing thing that I think that we took from the initiatives was it gave everybody a first-hand chance to learn about different cultures.
You're coming here to learn, but you're also coming here to have an experience, get to know other people, be in the college experience.
The most positive experience, I would say, the diversity of North Hennepin, because here you can see all kind of people from different countries, from different color, from different race, and everyone is together. Everyone is spending time together. They know none of them are like they have their own group. They have their own group. Everybody is together here. That's the key part.
I still have the same support system here. Anyone here that I need, I can always call on them, especially Denise. She's in TRIO. She was my advisor. She was my tutor. And she actually, when I graduated, bought me a locket. And because I tell a story about Off the Blue Couch. and she bought me a locket that says, there's a blue couch in it, and it says completely free on it. So yeah.
When I came here, that was like literally the first program that I signed up for. And so they've been like really good. They have peer tutors that are professional. And so like Ryan and Denise and Brad, they're super amazing. And Alice was my advisor, and she was really good. And I guess they've been like my framework. They've always been there, like my safety net. Whenever I needed help with stuff, they were always there academically and like as a counselor.
You have a voice here as a student. Whether it's a voice through, going to class or going to different clubs and organizations that are around campus, or if you're just an individual who just wants to do something different that isn't there, we could just get together and have a discussion about something. It's like, all right, well, why don't we do it?
One of the most important things that we can do is we can be connecting with our former students who are now our community leaders and having them help guide and teach our students how to be leaders as well. Now, we as an institution, we do a great job of producing many leaders. We can see our students who are now doctors or engineers, lawyers, school teachers, head of our security on our own campus. They're doing a lot of amazing things in our community. And what I think that we sometimes miss out on the opportunity of is bringing these students back, these former students who are now doing amazing things, and having them come and talk to our students and say, hey, I was in the same shoes. I struggled to pay for my classes. I struggled to keep up with my homework because I had to work 2 jobs. I had a family. I had all these other responsibilities going on. But this is the grit that I had. This is the efforts that I had to give to make sure that I could do this. And I know that you can do it as well.
One of the primary goals is to work on a culture change where students, when they come here, really realize and experience love and structure as they create the resources in their lives. And so often students come in here seeing their lack, and it's our job to help them recognize their resources. And then they're open to learning. As long as they believe they're less than, then learning is very difficult.